We move to the secondary region, the second round. L'Jarius Sneed or Xavier McKinney. Probably the two best players on the market at their respective positions. Sneed has been franchise tagged by the Chiefs, so it would require a trade to acquire him. Xavier McKinney, young, can do it all. Probably going to cost a significant amount of money.
Yeah, between these two, I would go with Xavier McKinney. First off, there's an obstacle in the way of
Taiwanese,
Sneed.
by the way.
Okay.
As Threat Level Midnight corrects me on the animation.
There's an obstacle in the way of Sneed because you have to give up a second-round pick for him, or you have to give up a valuable draft pick for him. So I would say that McKinney, obviously safety position of need, 24 years old. We don't know what that contract's going to come in at. It could be expensive. It could be price prohibitive for the Eagles. But I see, I think that's if they are going to make a splash and they make a splash at safety, then McKinney fits a lot of things that the Eagles would like in terms of age profile, play profile. And I don't know McKinney, but from what I hear, personality profile will be pretty good too.
Yeah, I am so fascinated about the safety decision that they're going to make, and I am like twisting myself into a pretzel about what I think they're going to do, because there are so many guys available. There are like 15 guys who could come in and be a day one starter for the Eagles at safety.
That's true.
And if that's the case, just gaming it out, like game theory wise, does it make sense to pay for Xavier McKinney when you can get Geno Stone for half the price, or you can get Justin Simmons or Eddie Jackson for half the price on a short-term deal? And if you don't commit the money to Xavier McKinney, does that mean you can spend more at linebacker, where there's also a good amount of options but fewer, or on offense, where maybe you get a little bit more bang for your buck? And with Sneed, it is going to be really hard to find an answer for them at corner, and Sneed is like the one guy who could be that. Now, there are some, Marshawn Lattimore they're talking about could get traded this offseason. There are a couple other trade candidates, but I think if the Eagles are going to do something at corner, it's going to be something major, like Sneed or Lattimore. Whereas, I'm sure that they like Xavier McKinney. I don't know if I think that they're going to go at the very top of the market at a position where there are so many options.
That's a valid point, and there are so many options, like you said, young, old, in between. So are you leaning towards...
Do you need the list of...
Yes, that's what... Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she was
the Wi-Fi in here is not great. I'll see if I can...
So are you of the opinion that...
I think you sent it to Chris.
Yes.
Well, it's just like it goes by who's been bolded. Yeah. Okay.
Sneed.
Sorry.
No problem. Do you think Sneed's a realistic option here?
I kind of do.
Okay.
Because I think if you do Sneed, he's 27, right? You trade for him, and that is like a big bulk of your cap space to spend.
And then you're not drafting a cornerback early.
You don't have to draft a corner. And Ringo is your young corner, and there's still going to be enough money to find guys at safety and linebacker. I'm on the fence here. I think I would kind of lean Sneed, except that, as you said, like the obstacles to it happening are a little bit greater.
Now, the Eagles historically have been big players in the free agent market at corner. They signed Namdi to a top of the market, the highest paid corner. They signed Byron Maxwell. That was not with Howie, but that was like a telegraphed move. They signed Asante Samuel. They wanted Byron Jones. They didn't get Byron Jones, but they trade for Slay, and they pay him. So the history show, the Eagles historically don't pay top of the market at safety. We know they don't pay top of the market at linebacker. If they're going to pay top of the market at a position, it's going to be edge rusher. We know that, or corner.
Yeah.
If Sneed was completely free, I would say Sneed here.
He can also play inside, and so there's a path to being able to get, like, if you really love Ringo and you get good health luck, like you can have Sneed and Ringo and Slay on the field at the same time.
And my point here was you have to give up that second-round pick. They have 2 second-round picks, so you're still not operating at a deficit. Like, you'd still have a first, a second, and a third.
I think this would require trading Reddick.
Interesting.
I think if
okay.
you're getting draft capital back for Reddick,
Yes.
you can flip something for Sneed, and then probably like there are also lots of options on the edge, and so you can backfill Reddick that way. I see that as a realistic path.
And yeah, like there aren't great corners on the market for them. The top corners are usually signed. And by the way, in that exercise that we were discussing in terms of, or not the exercise, the historical precedent, the Eagles were going hard after Jalen Ramsey. The Jags took the Rams off for that year. But the Eagles have shown they're willing to pay huge for a corner. So
the thing that would concern me is it's not like L'Jarius Sneed has been a number one corner for 3-4 years running, right? This is a relatively recent thing.
He might not have been the best corner on his team last year.
Right, and cornerback performance is a little bit unsticky year to year. And we talked about, he led the league in penalties for corners last year. It is not a guarantee that he's going to come in and translate and be a lockdown corner right away, which is probably why I guess I would lean McKinney. I think the Eagles would be probably more interested in trading for Marshawn Lattimore. That feels like more of a Howie move.
You're right, but for the sake of this exercise, I wouldn't push back and say you bullied me into a corner if we want.
I'm not. Well, now the more we talk it, I'm more now leaning McKinney.
I mean, there's just less of an obstacle for McKinney.
Yeah,
but there is a chance the whole safety market's depressed. The same way we talk about the running backs, there's a chance that because there's so many options, because all these high-priced safeties have been cut, the league looks at that and says, are we going to pay, when I say we, the league overall, going to pay 16, 18 million?
And so then maybe that is how you think you get value, is if you're going to get McKinney for 13 a year.
I would do that.
Right?
I would sign McKinney for 13.
Yeah. Now, I think he probably goes for more than that.
Yeah.
But
I'll defer to you on this one.
Let's go McKinney.
Okay.
Let's go McKinney, because I think there is too much of a question about whether Sneed is going to remain elite. You take him away from the Spagnuolo defense. Let's go McKinney.
Okay.
And there's if we're talking about like Howie has not done this, played at the top of the market for safety, you can talk yourself into Fangio being like, this is the position that I want to prioritize. Sure. I need a guy here.
Sure. Fair enough.
So let's go with Xavier McKinney moving on.
We all silly like the mayor.